This video is called Amen. You know, when I was a young man, I was getting bad advice on the route I should go. I was advised by my mom's husband at the time that I was a good-looking man. I should find a woman with a good job, and you know, get by with that. And you know, today he was right in a way, because today's environment, it's easier for a woman with the credentials I have to get a job than for me to get a job. It seems that I'm being pushed towards jobs that don't pay anything near what my credentials uh, that I have now. You know, I made $100,000 for almost 10 years without an education, and now I'm finding it hard. Now that was in Beverly Hills, so you know, a different environment. But and I'm sure that Beverly Hills environment is different than what it was when I was there. But I have 3.5 degrees now, and I'm finding it hard to find good work. Anyway, this is not my story that I want to tell. This story is called Amen, because I prayed after that conversation I had with my mother's husband at the time, and I asked God to show me what He intended man to be from the beginning. And then late in my whatever age I was, but I was working at Beverly Hills BMW as a manager. And one night, you know, I have been in lots of relationships and lots of situations, sexual relationships. Unfortunately, you know, on both sides of the fence. Once, you know, the other side started when I was 5. You know, I was molested by my babysitter's one of the kids that she had at the age of 5. So what happened to me later, you know, I nullified because of what happened to me when I was at the age of 5, when I didn't know better, and when my consent wouldn't have any meaning at the age of 5. This is why I am an advocate against kids learning sexual orientations and sexual habits at such an early age. At that age, you should be learning how to read, write, and do the things that you need to do to survive, and not taking on adult responsibilities, which I think, and I hope this will help you understand that my understanding of sexual acts or spiritual and actions for adults, because I didn't get the prayer answered until way later in my life, when I was ready for it and could understand what God was telling me at the time. You know, and it was weird, because I had been with this woman for probably 8 years at the time. We had already had 3 kids, so I had a pretty good trust in her, and I think this was a part of the experience, because one night, you know, we were having relations, and then I hear this is it. And at the time, I was making good money. I was making 100 grand as a manager, like I said, so I could take on the responsibility of another child, which would be a 4th. And I knew that this woman would raise my child, protected my child the way I wanted my child to be raised and be protected. I hadn't been in that situation before. I've had sex with a lot of different girls. I've even had threesomes. You know, one with 2 girls and a guy, and one with 2 girls and myself. Of course, I enjoyed the 2 girls and myself way more than I enjoyed the me and another. I guess he was my mentor, because he taught me how to tie a tie. We once shared a girl. Anyway, this experience was way more intense, and I understood at the time, you know, what it meant to lie down with a woman who I knew would care and take care of the seed that I gave her, differently than any other situation I had been in. I've known the excitement of first time situation with someone, and probably going to be the last time. Those, you know, one night stands that so many people get excited about because it's a new experience. This was way more. So after I heard this voice in my head, this is it. and it was different. Something that most men will never experience. Some people have 2 kids and they don't have any more kids, so you don't know how women are going to respond to a child. Some women respond positive, some women respond negative. I've met women that would rather go to work than stay home and take care of their child. To me, that's perplexing. That a woman would rather go to work than be home with her kid. But this girl, she was a great mom, or is a great mom, and I was in a position to where she could stay home and take care of the kids, and then she homeschooled my kids. So there was a lot of trust that I never had with another woman, and I didn't even have with her until after a period of time after I knew how she would respond to having a child, which was positive. And so there I was in a position to where I could take on the responsibility with the woman that I knew that would handle my seed the way I wanted to handle. And it took the experience to a way different level, more intense, more gratifying than any experience I ever had. The sex wasn't kinky. It wasn't anything special. It was just knowing in my head that I was lying with someone that I trusted and that I could count on to take care of the seed that I was providing. And then I was in a position to nurture and give what I needed as a father to that child. And then my world fell apart right after that. So I know what it is to have that, and I know the importance of why society has really taken that from certain men and not given us the ability to provide for our families. And therefore, a man like myself who wants lots of kids, they make it rather difficult. And the first thing they say is, can you afford it? Knowing that they've done things to prohibit us from growing. I even think it's a calculated effort to make sure that women are granted the financial stability where they can control the family situation. And most of them are just walking away and want new experiences. This is a new role flip, but it's a calculated move as far as I'm concerned. Because like I said, now I have credentials that I went to school for, and I find it hard to find employment that would coordinate. Because first I was told, you need these credentials to get the job, even though while in college I met lots of women who had jobs without having or obtaining the credentials to have that job. And now that I have the credentials that some of them didn't have, I'm finding it difficult to find the jobs that will support the lifestyle that I want to live. But I wanted to make it a point to let you know that there is another experience. And I've experienced, like I said, both sides of the fence, unfortunately. And I can tell you that the role and the experience that I had was way different, more gratifying than anything I've ever experienced. And I don't know if any of you will experience that because most of you have 2 kids and that's it. And not knowing if the relationship's going to last. Most relationships don't last 8 years. They end up lasting 20 plus years, but most relationships don't last that long, or long enough for you to know that the spouse that you're lying with is going to respond in a way and do the things that you want them to do. Even if some of the things you want them to do may not be perfect, but having that confidence in the woman you lie with is something that most men don't experience. Most men are just lying with a woman because she's there and willing to take part in whatever it is you want to do. But actually lying with a woman that you know and that you want to bring forth seed with, it's a whole nother experience that most men will never experience. Most women don't experience because, most women will have 1 or 2 kids and then that's it. They're done. And I think this, for me, it didn't come until 7, 8 years in, actually 8 years in, because at the time my youngest was 5 years old, and he has 2 older siblings. So it had to be at least 8 years in the relationship when I knew she was going to take care of my seed, that I experienced this, and God told, this is it. And then it was taken away from me. So I just wanted to share that with you. I call this a man. At that moment, I understood what it meant and what it felt like to be a man, to be in the position to provide for the responsibility that may come out of the actions that I was taking. Whole different experience. Something I hope that some of you will enjoy and or seek to enjoy and understand that there's another side to this whole thing that I think most of you are missing, and what most of you will never experience. And I invite you to experience that. And I thank God for the answering of my prayer that I prayed many decades ago, and how I can confidently say He may not answer you when you first pray something, and until you're ready to receive the answer, you won't get the answer. So stay prayerful, serve God, and He will answer your prayer, even if it takes decades. But I understand that I wasn't ready for that prayer to be answered until that moment. But the prayer was answered. Serve God, keep your head up, and tell me what you think. Like, share, comment, follow, or subscribe. Thanks again for your time.